For the latest in strategic affairs, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the bell icon for updates.
Hello and welcome to StratNewsGlobal. I am Surya Gangadharan. The Indian standard for 5G, called 5GI, is going global. Now, what do I mean by that? It means actually many things. And I have a small graph here to explain that. For the first time, India has an IPR or a patent in telecom. 5GI is accepted as a mandatory standard by the International Telecom Union. Now, this is the result of a collaborative effort involving no less than 4 IITs, and lays the ground for an Indian 6G going down the road. Now, let me introduce my guest for this evening. He is Dr. Abhay Karandikar, Director of IIT Kanpur, one of the IITs involved in the design and implementation of the Indian 5GI. Dr. Karandikar, glad to have you, and glad you could find the time to appear on our show.
Thank you very much.
So, sir, congratulations. This seems to be a big development for us. First of all, let's start from the beginning, sir. This indigenous 5G or 5GI, what is it? How was it developed? How long did it take?
So let me just take you back to 2014. In 2014, we had established Telecom Standards Development Society of India, TSDSI, which became the India's telecom SDO. And the vision and mission of this TSDSI was to bring Indian requirements and Indian contributions to the global standards bodies, that is the 3GPP. So 3GPP actually defines the specifications of the wireless standards. So in 2014, we established the TSDSI in India, and then we became an organizational partner of 3GPP. Before that, India did not have any voice in the 3GPP specifications, in generating the 3GPP specifications. But after we became an organizational partner of 3GPP, Indian entities, Indian institutions, Indian industries, they got an opportunity to contribute to the 3GPP specifications through TSDSI by becoming individual members of 3GPP through TSDSI. Then, we started contributing to the 3GPP specifications. Our first attempt was that, we felt that when ITU was defining the requirements of the next generation wireless standards, that is 5G, which is called IMT 2020, that has a use case of rural enhanced mobile broadband. Now, in that rural enhanced mobile broadband, the vehicular speed that were considered were like 120 kilometers per hour, and also small intersite distances. Obviously, our use cases in the Indian rural case was most of the time it will be like fixed users. People want to access the broadband sitting at home, or low speed, maybe 3 kilometers per hour, like a pedestrian the speed, or 30 kilometers per hour. So then we proposed from the Indian side a special test configurations of this rural enhanced mobile broadband, which we call as low mobility large cell. So low mobility is to take care of the fixed or low mobile users, and large cell because you will need a large coverage in the rural areas. So our first success was that this LMLC, low mobility large cell, was accepted as one of the test configurations or requirements of IMT 2020. So this was our first success, that we first take our Indian rural needs into the technology development or the standard specifications. So LMLC was accepted, as the one of the rural enhanced mobile broadband test configurations. So this was the first success. Then, the next step was that we develop a standard or specifications which meets these requirements, which meets the requirements of low mobility and large coverage in a efficient manner. So that was the next success. Then, of course, the Indian entities started contributing to the 3GPP specifications. And when these contributions, when we made these contributions to 3GPP, when 3GPP did not accept to make these contributions, some of these contributions, as the mandatory part of the specifications, they made it optional. Then our Telecom Standards Development Society, TSDSI, took a separate radio interface technology specifications, the entire set of specifications, to the ITU's IMT 2020 and submitted it as one of the candidate technology for 5G. So, which got approved, which got ITU's approval in February this year. So, and that is what is called as the 5GI. So, essentially, 5GI is largely based upon the 3GPP release 15 specifications, but it has certain enhancements which are needed to address the Indian rural use cases. So I think that is what the 5GI, and that is how we submitted it as one of the candidate technologies for the IMT 2020.
So I'd like a quick word from you on 3GPP. Exactly what is it? Does it set the standards, or does it? What is it? How does it work?
Okay, so 3GPP is, as the name states, it's called third generation, 3G's third generation partnership project. So actually, it was established when the 3G wireless communication standards was getting developed, and that is why that word 3G is there. 3G. But obviously, as you know, it has now done the specifications for 4G and 5G, and it will go for 6G also. And it is a partnership project. So it is a partnership between US, Europe, China, South Korea, and Japan. It was a partnership project of these countries. India did not figure in this. Okay, so till 2014, India did not figure as a member of this partnership project. Now, you can become a partner or an organizational partner only if we have a telecom standards development organization in your country. So, for example, Europe is an organizational partner of 3GPP through its SDO ETSI ETSI. China is a member through CCSA, and so on. So India did not have till 2014. So in 2014, we established TSDSI, and then TSDSI became an organizational partner of 3GPP. So we also became a partner in this partnership project. So now, the 3GPP develops the specifications of the next generation wireless standards, and those specifications are typically called releases. So release 8, release 9, release 10, they were like a 4G standards. Then, release 11, release 12, release 13, release 15. So these specifications are called releases. Now, ITU, which is a United Nations body, that defines the requirements of the next generation standards. So in the case of 5G, it defined the requirements in the form of IMT 2020. Now, 3GPP submits its specifications to ITU, and then ITU evaluates those specifications and sees that whether it meets the requirements, and then it can notify that as the candidate technology. So that is what the 3GPP work is, and we are able to contribute into the 3GPP specifications through our TSDSI, through our Telecom Standards Development Society.
So in that sense, since India was not a member until fairly much later, did 3GPPI in that sense work as a kind of a little closed circle for these member countries that set it up in the first place and
Yes,
kept
yes,
others out, kept other
yes.
patents out?
Yeah, obviously, because 3GPP, since India did not have any voice, so obviously we did not have, we could not take our requirements and our IPRs and our contributions to the 3GPP specifications, and that was obviously there till all these years, till almost 2015, 16.
Mm-hmm. So I was going through the news reports about, there are not very many of them, about FGI, 5GI now becoming a part of the overall mainstream 5G. And the words they use are merger of India's 5G with the generally accepted 5G standards. When we say merger, is there a dilution of our standards? Does it lose its identity?
No, no, no. I think it is not a merger in that sense exactly. So what happened is that when we took our contributions to 3GPP release 15,
Yeah.
uh, these contributions were not accepted by the other members.
Yeah.
We pushed for it, and after making some efforts, these contributions got accepted in 3GPP as optional features. Okay.
Okay.
So they became part of the standards, but they were optionals. It was not mandatory or necessary to implement those features. Now, since these were optional and these were not mandatory, then what in TSDSI we thought that it will be good to propose our own radio interface technology to IMT 2020, where we can not only incorporate these features as mandatory, but also enhance some features. So that is how we prepared the radio interface technology to IMT 2020. Now, the news that you are saying that this merger, what it has happened is that 3GPP has finally now agreed that in their future release, and that is release 17, they will have these features which were optional features. They will make them now mandatory as the part of the specifications. So that is how our contributions and our IPRs, which we had presented to 3GPP to meet Indian rural requirements, they will no longer be optional features of the standard. They will become the essential features of the standard, and they will become the part of the 3GPP 5G specifications.
So now that our 5GI is part of the international 3GPP 5G systems, it's now part of it. Um, Anywhere in Africa, maybe the Indian 5GI can also go as for setting up a 5G network.
Yes, yes. Basically, no, what we are saying is that, the contributions that we have made it to 3GPP, they are now part of the 3GPP 5G specifications. So anyone which develops a system via base station or phones conforming to those specifications, they will also have to implement these features also. So then only, it will be called as a complete implementation.
So, given that the general telecom operators will opt for something which is already tested and robust and operational and all that, is there danger or perhaps a risk that our own thing will get sidelined or?
No. Actually, as I mentioned, that we want whatever is the contributions or our intellectual property rights or our requirements to become a part of the global standard, so that we have the economies of scale, so that all vendors which develop the subsystems and full systems or phones or base stations, they all implement the same global standards where we have made our contributions. So we don't want to make India specific standard. We want our contributions our IPRs to become part of the global standards, so that global economies of scale will bring benefits to our market.
Mhm. But it is left to the telecom operators to decide what 5G they will use, even in India.
See, now, of course, it is left to the telecom operators. But now, as I said, that with 3GPP agreeing to become making our contributions as mandatory part of the 3GPP specifications in Release 17, now, the whatever we had proposed to meet the rural enhanced mobile broadband requirements of low mobility and large cell, that is now getting captured in the release 3GPP 5G specifications. So obviously, the telecom operator, so it is like 5GI and 5G, there is not much difference. It is all the same.
Okay.
And
So
this also gives us an opportunity. This also gives us an opportunity. Basically, this has really, in my opinion, set the stage for making contributions to beyond 5G technologies, like it is 6G or so on, at the global standards level.
Uh-huh. So you're saying now that 5GI is the first time we've got an IPR in an area in a strategic sector like telecom.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And that will lay the groundwork for 6G.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, as you see that as the wireless technology has evolved from 2G to 3G to 4G to 5G, we have seen the balance of IPR shifting from the US, Europe, Western world to Asian countries, and whether it is China or South Korea or Japan. Now, and of course, in all these standard setting technology developments and contributions, India did not figure anywhere. We were only a market which was basically consuming the technology and the products developed elsewhere. But now, we have made a beginning, and I believe that going forward, I would like the government to strengthen the TSDSI, and I'm sure, we will be able to make more contributions to the global standards, push our requirements, push our IPRs, develop indigenous products, and that is how we can become a truly self-reliant.
So will this last question, sir, will this help Indian companies? Will it help build the ecosystem for 5G here?
Yes, absolutely. It will help Indian companies in the sense, because you see, so far, if you want to develop products where you don't hold any IPRs or any patents, obviously you need to pay certain royalties on acquiring the licenses. Now, when you also become a part of the ecosystem, in the sense that you also hold some patents, some IPRs, you also are making contributions, then obviously you are doing at equal terms, at a fair terms, and as a result, it will benefit. It will create an ecosystem of developing indigenous technology, and more importantly, I think it will help develop a technology which is addressing our own requirements. As I mentioned, that we had a different requirements of our rural use case. We need low mobility. We don't need 150 kilometers per hour mobility, high speed mobility. In forget about rural areas, even in the cities, we are having cars running at 40 kilometers per hour. And cell phone in India is the primary broadband access mechanism. Many people don't have fiber to the home. Many people don't have landlines. Many people don't have cable. So cell phone is so people are accessing the broadband through cell phone by sitting at home. They are not even moving. So our requirements are different, and we need technology to address these requirements efficiently. So, and obviously, it is better that the global standards address that, so that we get the benefits of the economies of scale also.
So commercially, we can expect some flow back from this patent that we have developed.
Yes, yes. Usually, what happens is that since if I have to develop a product, I also need, others patent. I mean,
Yeah.
a product never gets developed through one patent. So usually, therefore, all these royalties are then done in a fair manner, and so that all vendors can coexist in this ecosystem. So then we can talk to others at equals, basically.
So
And
basically, now the playing field is level.
absolutely. We are now talking in a level playing field in terms of having an intellectual contributions.
And 6G is the next goal.
Absolutely.
Dr. Karandikar, pleasure talking to you. And thank you for all the information and insight. Great pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Namaste.
And for all of you out there, I hope you followed this conversation closely. Do keep following us on our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram. Keep coming to us with your questions, comments, and observations. Thank you and good night.